And the lineup for the New York Mets, Mookie Wilson playing center field and leading off. Second baseman the plate and will hit fourth. George Foster with a game-winning RBI in the 8th inning of yesterday's game, a game in which the Mets came back and scored 4 runs, defeating the Giants 4-3. George batting 5th this afternoon. Danny Heap in there in right field will hit 6th. Howard Johnson, the third baseman, batting 7th. Rafael Santana will play short and hit 8th, and Dwight Gooden on the mound.
Mets and WRTV, and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audiences. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the New York Mets and WRTV is prohibited.
Leading off for New York, number 1.
So Mookie Wilson, the leadoff for the Mets. Mookie in yesterday's ball game had 1 base hit and 3 times up, but it was a big base hit.
That's the first RBI of the game for the Mets. Mookie driving in Wally Backman, who had doubled. And one of the big plays, not only was that a big hit, but with Mookie Wilson on second and Kelvin Chapman on first, the big play of yesterday's game, the double steal that set it up for Carter.
Carter then doubled in 2 runs to tie the ball game. Foster drove in Carter, and the Mets won it 4-3. And the first pitch of the ball game, a strike. Mookie lays off the fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Mookie hitting .297 now. He's had no home runs, 8 runs batted in. Leads the club in stolen bases with 16. And in his last 18 games, he's batted .325. And the pitch back, a strike call, and Mookie not too happy with that call by Bob Engel, the home plate umpire.
Jim Gott is what is known in baseball terminology as a dart thrower.
And Mookie goes after that fastball, and it darted right by him.
Darted right by him. A little foul tip there. But he is he almost throws like a catcher, as he is right past his ear when he throws the ball, releases the ball, has good control, and spots the ball inside and outside, primarily the fastball.
Mookie is struck out. You got a shot of the next batter, Wally Backman, just a second or so ago. God picks up his first batter, and it brings up Wally.
Batting second, number 6.
Backman 2 for 8 in this series, hitting .245. The big double started the 4-run inning the Mets got to win the ball game 4-3 yesterday. Backman as a pinch hitter, hitting a double, getting his first hit as a right-hand batter this season. And the fastball a strike. Backman's on-base percentage is .302, and he's hitting .245 overall, and there's an idea of how the wind is blowing here. Not too bad for this time of day. There's the curveball, missed, strike 2. Fastball, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Jim Gott reminds you a little of Jim Barr as we look at Hernandez.
He surely does,
deck.
doesn't he?
And
the curveball. Backman chops at it, and Gott has struck out his first 2 batters.
Jim Barr, a San Francisco Giant pitcher, as recently as last year, didn't have this type of curveball. That is a good breaking ball from Gott.
All the Giant pitchers lead the major leagues in earned run average. They have a 2.66 ERA. But the Giants have made 49 errors, second to the Dodgers, and they have given up 27 unearned runs, and that's their problem. Here's Keith Hernandez. Keith 0 for 4 yesterday, and also ejected from the ballgame in an argument with Jim Quick, who is now umpiring third base, Quick behind home plate. There you see Jim. Jim wouldn't give Hernandez time when he asked for it. That got Hernandez very hot. Ground ball to second base, and the Mets go in order. 2 strikeouts for Gott, and the score at the end of 1/2 inning. The Mets nothing. The Giants coming up. Now here's a word from Budweiser. Backman at second. Santana at shortstop. And Howard Johnson playing third. In the outfield, Foster in left field, Wilson in center field, and Heap in right. The catcher, Gary Carter, and on the mound, Dwight Gooden. Gooden with a record of 6-3, has no decisions against the Giants this year. And he is lifetime 23-12.
And the lineup for the Giants, Dan Gladden leading off. He's playing center. Second baseman Manny Trio batting second. Chili Davis, the switch-hitting right fielder, hitting third. Gary Racich, the ex-Met, batting fourth. Left fielder Jeff Leonard batting fifth. Third baseman Chris Brown batting sixth, followed by Alex Trevino, also an ex-Met, and catching. He's batting seventh. Jose Uribe, the switch-hitting shortstop, batting eighth. And Jim Gott, a pretty good hitting pitcher, batting ninth.
So Dwight Gooden, who has a 1-0 record against the Giants. He beat the Giants in 10 innings 2-0 in his only decision against San Francisco. And the first pitch to Gladden, a fastball high. Gladden hitting .247, 1 home run, 12 RBIs. So far this year, Gladden with a record of 3-15, and let's go Mets. Fastball fouled away, count 1 ball and 1 strike. When Gooden defeated the Giants, it was last year. He won the ball game on a 2-run home run by Wally Backman off Mike Krukow.
That was in the 10th inning, and the doctor went 9 full innings, a game you saw right here on WOR.
And the fastball is taken inside, 2-1. The Mets got within 1.5 games of the Cubs at that point. That's the closest they ever came last year as they finished second to the Cubs.
Closest after they relinquished the lead.
Right.
They had the lead about 40 days. 40 days and 40 nights. Huh?
2-2. Gladden 3 for 15 in this series, having an off year after a great year last year, his rookie year, and that's ball 3, 3-2.
The disturbing thing about Dan Gladden, from Jim Davenport, the manager of the Giants' viewpoint, is his batting against right-handed pitching. He's batting .326 versus left-handers, but under .200 versus right-handers.
And it is ball 4 on the 3-2 pitch. Gladden last year hit .351 for the Giants. He had the second best batting average against left-hand pitching, .375 in the National League. Leonard, the best Giant left fielder, hit .380 against left-hand pitching. So Manny Trio, the batter. Gladden, a good base runner. He's had 15 stolen bases in 20 attempts. Trio coming up, hitting .228, no home runs, 7 RBIs. That is Gooden's 20th walk. 76 innings of work.
Dwight Gooden is not a guy against whom you would want to, or is not a pitcher against whom you would want to hit and run. He throws that high-riding fastball, and it's tough to put the ball in play on the ground. I think Davenport would opt to steal with Gladden here rather than have Trio give himself up to hit and run.
Hey, he was going the other way right there, and he gets back, but a little indication he might be running. Giants have had 29 stolen bases in 47 attempts.
Leaders in stolen bases in the National League, the St. Louis Cardinals, averaging over 2 steals a game, 90 stolen bases.
They could break the all-time record. Does not go, and the pitch is taken for a called strike. Trio has been taking the first pitch and taking down to 1 strike in this series.
You don't mind him do it in a situation like this, but yesterday with the tying run on second base in the bottom of the 9th and 2 out, Manny Trio took 2 pitches. 1 a ball, 1 a strike. You hate to spot that pitcher a strike all the time. It's not bad philosophy to go up there occasionally and take a strike early in the ball game, first at bat.
One of the great hitters of all time, Johnny Gehringer, used to take a strike every time he went to the plate.
Dick Grote was also a guy who took a strike.
Almost every time he went to the plate. Just about the time you think he's going to take one, they swing away and hit it out of the ballpark.
You lay one in there, right?
That's right.
Tease that battery, pitcher and catcher.
1-1 the count as Gooden works to Manny Trio and a throw to first base.
Gooden has been called for a balk only once this season. His 9 balks last year tied him with Steve Carlton to lead the National League.
Gladden a good-sized lead at first base. He's running, and the pitch has popped up. Coming over is Backman, fighting the wind, fighting the sun, and making the play. Gladden back to first base, and one away.
You described that perfectly, Mr. Kiner. Fighting, fighting, fighting. Nothing is routine in this ballpark. It's more routine. Balls on the ground are more routine than pop flies. That sun is tough. High sky in baseball here.
Mets lost 2 balls in the sun yesterday and still won the ball game 4-3. Now the batter will be Chili Davis. Davis hitting .270 for the year with 5 home runs, 23 RBIs. Chili the club leader in home runs and runs batted in. Giants as a team hitting .218. They have the lowest batting average in the National League. Mets are next to them with a .224 average. And a good curveball by Gooden. Chili Davis, who started his career as a catcher. Batting with a runner at first base. 1 man out, just underway here in San Francisco. And the fastball is missed. 2 strike count on Chili Davis, born in Kingston, Jamaica. Raised in Los Angeles.
That last fastball from Gooden is the type of fastball that hitters try to lay off of. That high riding fastball. Most guys, you got to make them get the ball up. Gooden, you got to make him get the ball down.
Well, you got it up there, and Davis becomes his first strikeout victim. And Gooden is now tied with Nolan Ryan for the strikeout lead in the National League.
Man, this is some dead red right here.
Batting
Laser beam fastball. He just blew that ball right by Chili Davis. Way behind that pitch.
He was at least 2 feet behind that ball.
He was.
So Gooden strikes out his first batter. Now he'll take on Gary Racich. Gary hitting .196, had 2 hits in yesterday's ball game. His first 2 hits here at Candlestick this year. Racich won a game against the Mets at Shea Stadium as a pinch hitter. And yesterday he drove in 2 big runs. Former Met. Gooden moving off the bag at first does not go, and that's strike 1.
This is a good pitch to pitch out on right now. Gladden's waited long enough at first base. He attempted to steal when Trio popped up in foul territory. Good pitch to run on here.
1 strike the count. Draws a throw at first base. No score in the ball game. The Giants with a runner at first, 2 men away. And Gladden is running with the pitch. A throw by Carter is high, and it's off the glove of Santana. Backman retrieves it, and Gladden has a stolen base. That is his 16th.
Well, Gary Carter called for a curveball there. You can't let who's on first base dictate how you call a game, and that's one of the impressive things about Gary Carter. You can't just continue to throw fastballs. Gladden, with a good jump to second base, failed to go to third on what could have been a throwing error. That's a very key point. There are a lot of young catchers who want to call fastball, fastball, fastball with a guy on first base who can run. Sometimes those balls don't get to you, though.
1-1 the count, and a good fastball. And the count 1-2. Racich 3 for 7 against the Mets. He had been up 15 times here at Candlestick before he got his first base hit. Struck him out. So Gooden with a blazing fastball strikes out 2 in the inning. He leaves 1. Gladden, who had walked and moved to second on the stolen base. And the score at the end of 1. The Mets nothing, the Giants nothing. Now here's a word from Nissan. To the top of the second inning with Gary Carter leading off. This is Carter hitting the ball down into the left field corner to drive in the 2 runs that tied up the ball game. Mookie first, and behind him, Calvin Chapman. Later on, the Mets got another run and won it 4-3. So Carter, who had 2 hits yesterday, batting for the first time here today. And Jim Gott, with his first pitch, hits ball 1. Carter 4 for 13 against the Giants this year. Good ground ball. Diving stop by Brown. The throw to first gets him. Fine play by Chris Brown.
An experienced play by the young third baseman right here. He took his time. Watch him take his time when he gets up. Now he makes a strong throw, knowing the runner, Gary Carter, not only running from the right side, but Gary does not run well. Good play, Chris Brown.
Brown from Crenshaw High School, the same school that Darryl Strawberry graduated, where he graduated. They played together on the same high school team. Brown was a year ahead of Strawberry. Outstanding young ball player. And now it's George Foster. The game winner yesterday. George drove in his 17th run, hitting .209 for the year with 6 home runs. And Foster taking the fastball. George, originally a Giant, was raised in this area. 2 balls, no strikes. Traded by the Giants to the Cincinnati Reds for Frank Duffy and Vern Geichert, a pitcher. Duffy, a shortstop.
Then George went to the Reds in '73 and they sent him down initially. Went down to Indianapolis, tried to hit the curveball, played winter ball, learned how to hit the curveball, and has been whacking away at National League pitchers ever since.
2-1 the count to Foster. George wearing those tinted glasses to take care of the glare of the sun. Fastball foul back. It's 2-2. On deck batter for the Mets, Danny Heath. There's the curveball. It's called a ball. George flinched away from that one. Jim Gott has retired the batters in order in 22 of 49 innings, getting the opposition 1, 2, 3.
Trevino knows George Foster too, and he's had a lot more experience with George, and Jim Gott has shaken off Trevino twice to throw that breaking ball. Trevino wants to throw him the heater.
There's the heater, and it's drilled out the right center field. It is way back. It is going off the wall. Foster on his way to second. And now stopping. He might have trouble getting back. He's safe.
Well, this was a triple that was stretched into a double. A lot of home run hitters like that like to watch what they hit, and that's what George was doing. He was watching the ball, and by the time the ball caroms back to Chili Davis, it's too late. Foster takes a wide turn and is almost thrown out going back to second. See, a lot of home run hitters break into their home run trot a little too soon, and that's what Foster did there. If you can't get a triple on that ball, you can't hit a triple.
And now Danny Heath, the batter, and he takes the first pitch for strike 1. You throw Foster fastballs low outside, and he'll do that to you all the time.
He loves to extend those arms.
And Danny takes for a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. Heath hitting .276. He's had 1 home run, and he's driven in 12. And the fastball, ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, when a big, powerful slugger hits a ball like that, Ralph, it's understandable because he knows how hard he hit the ball. He hit it on the fat part of the bat. More often than not, the ball's out of the ballpark.
Ground ball to Gary Raichitz at first base. And now 2 men away. Foster going over to third in the out.
It doesn't make it right because it's understandable, but as we said, in essence, George Foster's got to be on third base. But, you know, a guy who doesn't hit a lot of home runs is usually the ball's not going to be out of the ballpark, and that's why they bust it right out of the box, and it's a lot easier for them to get a triple. The triple's an interesting hit, isn't it?
Well, some say it's the best hit in baseball.
I think it's certainly the most interesting.
Other than the inside the park home run, you see more action on a triple than just about anything else. Now the batter is Howard Johnson.
Usually it takes a good base runner to get a triple, too, or to get more than one triple. Of course, it takes good speed, too.
And it is a ball in the count. 1 ball, now ball 2. Jim Gott has not walked the batter. He's walked only 17 in 49 innings. Johnson hit him 146 for the year. 1 home run, 7 RBIs. Foster at third base. And this ball hit by Johnson, and man, he hit it hard, but Racer somehow held on to it and picked up the out. So the Mets threatened to not score on the hit by Foster. They leave 1, and the score at the end of 1.5. The Mets nothing, the Giants nothing. Now here's a word from Purolator Courier. Never hit in one season. Owen Wilson of Pittsburgh in 1912 hit 36, and a man coming in now who hit a lot of triples. I believe he led the league in triples one year.
Yeah,
Jim McCarver.
Back in '66, kind of a strange category to lead the league in. Jeff Leonard, the batter. He has 2 triples on the year. Since we're talking about triples, we're on a triple kick today. Nothing, bottom of the 2nd. Fastball from Gooden is high. Gooden with 2 strikeouts in the 1st inning, blowing Chili Davis and Gary Racich right away. 2-0. Leonard entering the game batting .209. Kay Corner follows the doctor around. That's a makeshift corner right there. Ground ball to Johnson. And the strong arm of Johnson throws out Leonard. 4 in a row retired by the doctor, and the batter Chris Brown.
Batting 6th, number 35.
Well, get well wishes to Bruce Berini, recuperating from his shoulder surgery in Sherwood, Ohio today. Bruce, we hope you're back in a Met uniform soon and hope your shoulder is fine. Darryl Strawberry probably watching the game from Los Angeles. Man, injuries have really hurt the Mets. And also Ron Gardenhire was just placed on the DL, retroactive back through the 25th of May.
Mets are playing with a 24-man roster, one under the limit.
Brown pops it up to Wally Backman, and Backman squeezes it. 5 in a row, retired by Gooden, and the batter Alex Trevino.
Batting 7th.
The ex-Met catcher batting .184. He has 3 doubles to his credit. Came to the Giants April 17th for another catcher, John Rabb, who is now with Richmond, the AAA affiliate of the Atlanta Braves. Laser for a strike, 0-1. Curveball is low. 1-1 to Alex Trevino. 2 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 2nd. Candlestick Park in San Francisco. Ground ball up the middle. Nice play, Santana. And an easy inning for Dwight Gooden as the Giants go in order, and after 2, no score. We'll be right back right after this word from Manufacturers Hanover.
15. We got this game won.
Yeah, you guys are buying a light beer from Miller.
Yeah, let's Philly. Taste it.
One out to go. Yeah, what can he do to us now?
Hey, keep the change. Here's Rodney.
Any pinch hitters left?
Here I am.
Come on, Lee! Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Hey, wait a minute. This game isn't over yet. I caught that ball.
Helps a blind skater overcome her handicap in the inspiring drama Ice Castles, tonight at 9 on the $1 Million Movie.
Top of the 3rd inning. There's the youngster looking on. Is that a childhood picture of Bill Webb?
nice rosy cheeks.
All right. There's a Met fan right there. Quite a few Met fans here. Ukiah, California, responsible for 100 Met fans coming down from that sports attic down there. Or up there, I should say. Kelvin Chapman's hometown.
Now they have a special disc up there where they dish, I should say, where they watch the ball game.
Right.
Another fellow that came by the booth who belongs to a dish club, Richard Grossinger, who has written a book on baseball, The Temple of Baseball.
He's a big Mets fan, too, Richard Grossinger. Rafael Santana leads it off the Mets here in the 3rd inning.
They got a group of guys together, and they all chipped in. They bought themselves a dish, and they watched baseball games. Not only the Mets, all the ones they can pick up.
Good idea. 0-1 to Santana. Only hit of the ball game, a double by George Foster in the 2nd. Breaking ball low. 1-1 to Rafael Santana, batting .212 with a home run and 6 RBIs. Tried to hold up and couldn't. 1-2.
Rafael playing with a sore wrist, and one of the toughest things to do is to hold up a swing when you got a sore wrist. It hurts.
Re-injure it. Breaking ball is outside. Santana held up. The appeal to Dave Pallone, the first base umpire, confirms that. 2-2 to Santana. Another breaking ball. 3-2 to Santana. Now he'll get that heater.
Yeah, with a pitcher behind you, you usually get a good pitch to hit in this spot when not much is on the line.
Fastball jams him. Uribe throws out his counterpart. 1 away.
Batting ninth.
And the batter, Dwight Gooden. Dwight batting 174. He has 4 singles and 23 trips. Takes a lot of pride in his hitting, doesn't he?
Takes a lot of pride in everything he does.
He certainly does.
I understand his dad is here today.
Dan Gooden flew in from Tampa to not only see Dwight pitch, but to visit Dwight's brother, who lives here in the Bay Area. And Dwight fouls it back. 0-1. Got a piece of that when it's foul also. 0-2 to Dwight Gooden. No score, top of the 3rd. Tim McCarver along with Ralph Kiner and Steve Zabriskie bringing you the action right here on WOR. Breaking ball misses. Jim Gott came from the Toronto Blue Jays with Jack McKnight and Augie Schmidt in the Gary Lavelle trade last winter. Lifts this one down right field. Chili Davis can't get to it. Open the gates.
That's a good catch right here. Now the umpire really could rule fan interference on that if he thought that it kept Chili Davis from catching that ball, but you could see he did not have a chance.
The ball wasn't really hit high enough for Chili Davis to be under it. So Dave Pallone says no catch was possible. Still 0-2 to Gooden. Make that 1-2, and he bounces to Brown. 2 out. Top of the order, Mookie Wilson, the batter, a strikeout victim of Jim Gott in the 1st inning. Both Gott and Gooden have 2 strikeouts. And Mookie will take his time since the doctor had to run to first base.
Center fielder Mookie Wilson.
Got to accommodate those pitchers, Ralph.
Take care of them. This is a long way from home plate to the dugout in this ballpark.
It's a road trip.
It is.
You ought to get per diem.
It's a long way to walk back after a strikeout.
It certainly is.
Something I never could stand as a ball player. When a fellow would strike out, he'd run back to the dugout.
No, I don't like that either.
Trying to get out of sight.
2-0 to Mookie Wilson. Mookie batting .296, and over his last 18 games, batting .325. Been a hot hitter. 3-0. Mookie looking for his first home run of the year as he takes a strike. A good park to get it.
Ball carries well to right field. And a fairly short porch out there. 365 in right center. So you got the benefit of everything here.
Got his home run swing on that one. Fouls it back. 3-2 to Mookie Wilson.
Candlestick Park.
Got him on strikes. Wilson down for the second time. Third strikeout for Gott. So the Mets go in order in the third, and after 2.5, no score. As Ralph said, the 7th, 8th, and 9th of June to face those Cardinals, the much improved St. Louis Cardinals. Then the Mets go back on the road for a week. They are right in the midst of playing a ton of games on the road, huh?
They really have a lot of ball games on the road.
32 of their next 46 ball games, including yesterday's game, of course. Here's Jose Uribe, the fine shortstop of the Giants. Takes a fastball high, 1-0. Jose batting .224. He has 1 home run and 3 RBIs.
The switch hitter, and 22 of his 28 hits have been batting left-handed.
Pops up left side. Santana waving off. Looks like he's waving off the umpire, Jim Quick. 1 out.
George Hamilton is a jewel thief who only steals from the best in Jack of Diamonds, Friday afternoon on the 4 o'clock movie.
And the batter, Jim Gott. We said that he was a good hitter. How good a hitter is he, Ralph?
Well, he hit 2 home runs in a ball game. Giants won it in 10, 5-4. The last Giant pitcher to hit two home runs was Dave Kozlov. That's when Kozlov pitched for the New York Giants. And he was the last pitcher to hit 2 home runs in 1 game since Walt Terrell did it in '83 against the Cubs, pitching for the Mets.
And it's 0-1 to Gott. Breaking ball and a beauty, 0-2.
Only 1 pitcher's ever hit 3 home runs in a ball game, and that was Jim Tobin. Jim Tobin did it for the Boston. I think they were Bees then. Maybe they were the Braves then. Changed the name up there 1 year or 2 years.
Third strikeout for Dwight Gooden as he gets Gott. 2 out, nobody on. And the top of the order, Dan Gladden, the batter.
Number 32, center fielder Dan Gladden.
I'd say that Jim Tobin got Tobin's first prize, huh?
He got it all. He was a hot dog that day, wasn't he?
With good reason. Dan Gladden walked, and since that walk, Gooden has retired 8 in a row. Gary Carter has something in his eye. That wind swirling around here at Candlestick. Delightful weather at this ballpark. If you're a bird. Man, it's tough. Fastball is high. After this abbreviated 2-game schedule, the Mets fly to San Diego tonight to take on the Padres. Weekend series, then up to L.A. for 3 games. Fastball is low, says Bob Engel. So it's 2-0 to Dan Gladden. Good cut at that one, 2-1.
A little bit behind it.
That's the type of cut at least you want on a 2-0 pitch. Swing from your heels. Leave your feet. Spin around. Fall down. Like that Tony Pena.
Boy, does he leave the ground.
That was one of the classic at-bats against Dwight Gooden last year. Fouled off about 10 pitches with the count 3-2. Fastball outside. 3-1 to Gladden. There's a strike on the corner. 3-2.
Second time that Gladden has worked the count down to 3-2. His first time he walked on a fastball.
I think it's off the mask of Gary Carter or Bob Engel. Might have been Bob Engel who took that foul tip. Still 3-2 to Gladden.
That ball is going 95 miles an hour, and it's not slowed up by those foul tips.
It's foul tips, plus added to that is that spin on the ball can take that mask and twist it around on your face. Boy, does that feel good. Really missed that. This one fouled away. 3-2.
Feels so good. We can figure out a way to keep it up if you want.
No, thank you. Ripped towards Santana over his glove. Foster will have to hurry. He gets it back in a hurry. The first base hit of the game as Gladden smoked that ball. Kind of took a bad hop over the glove of Santana.
Number 9.
Well, it's a 3-2 fastball right down the middle. And Gladden gets a good part of the bat on it. Santana tried to flag it down, but that ball hitting at that half-hop situation, and Raphael lucky to stay alive on that one.
So Gladden a base running threat at first base, and the batter Manny Trio. He popped up to Backman his first time up. Breaking ball and a beauty.
And again, Trio taking that first pitch.
Gladden got his 16th steal of the year his first time up. So we'll see if he's running here. 0-1 to Trio. 2 out. No score in the third. There he goes. Another breaking ball fouled away. He'd have had his 17th steal had Trio missed that ball. Good jump by Gladden.
Gladden had 31 stolen bases last year in 86 games while hitting .351. He's a good ball player.
He's an ideal leadoff man, a contact hitter.
His hobbies, motorcycle racing and water skiing.
Not exactly what owners would like to have as players' hobbies when they give them long-term contracts, right? There goes Gladden again, and the fastball is jammed. Hernandez made a good play keeping the ball fair.
That's right.
Good play by Keith Hernandez, and he makes the play himself. That ball would have squirted foul had Hernandez not gloved it. Well, the Giants come up with their first hit of the game, but they score no runs. Gladden is stranded, and after 3 complete, no score. We'll be right back right after this word from American Express. 3 games slated other than the Mets and Giants. Montreal at San Diego, a rather strange 4 o'clock start today. St. Louis at Atlanta later on tonight, and Philadelphia at L.A. with that Mike Schmidt on first, Rick Shue at third. In for the play-by-play, Steve Zabriskie. Steve-O.
Thank you, Tim. As you see, Wally Backman to lead it off for the Mets in this scoreless game here in the top of the 4th inning. Backman struck out his first time up, one of 3 recorded by Jim Gott.
Mike Schmidt playing first base for the first time in his career last night.
Got a hit, so maybe you won't think it's too bad after all.
It's working, huh?
That's high, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Dodgers beat the Phillies last night 6-1. Those Padres lost to the Expos for the 2nd time in a row.
Montreal playing great baseball. Strike call 2-1.
Cardinals playing good baseball. Once again, the Cardinals will be in at Shea the 7th, 8th, and 9th of June. Banner Day on the 9th, and 2-liter jug day.
Did he hold
Saturday?
A strike called. Third base umpire Jim Quick calling the appeal.
Looked like he went around. While he couldn't stop it in time, yeah, he went.
So it's 2-2. And that'll be a big weekend, and the only time the Mets are home for a long time.
As we said earlier, the Mets go back on the road, 4 in Philly, 3 in Montreal for the first time. Gary Carter, that should be an interesting series.
Yes.
The Expos continue to play well.
3-2 now to Backman. You and Ralph were talking about the weather here and the sun and the wind and everything, and this is a good day.
Yeah, that's right. It is.
Imagine on a bad day. Ground ball, second base. Manny Trio flips it. And there's one out. Well, it's time to play Mets trivia here on WOR, as we do in the 4th inning of every televised game. And here is today's question for you at home and Mr. McCarver.
All right.
Do you
Number
know
17.
who is the only Met whose initials were M.E.T.? Think about that one for a while, and before the end of the inning, we'll put the answer up on your television screen. Keith Hernandez grounded to second, his first time up.
Did he ever meet a man he didn't like?
Very good. Only one player has had the initials Met. Strike on the inside corner.
M.E.T. I'll have to think about that for a while.
1-1 to Keith.
Might be a clue. Might be a guy from Memphis, Tennessee. But we won't give it. We won't give it yet, right? Those are the ground rules.
That's right. We'll wait till till our inimitable director, William Webb, flashes the answer upon the screen. 2 balls and a strike to Keith. Fouled off, and it's 2-2. Hernandez's father is here today, along with other members of his family. Keith from San Francisco.
Don Ho, the second baseman for the Giants.
It's a trio special. 2-2 to Hernandez. It's out of play, and it's still 2-2. Keith has not had a hit in this series yet. He's 0 for 5.
It's Don Ho's theme song, isn't it? Tiny Bubbles?
Tiny bubble. That was not a tiny bubble. It's a good size one. That's certainly not near the record. Breaking ball high, and it's 3-2. Some years ago, This Week in Baseball, a fine television show, did a little feature on bubblegum blowing in the dugout and the bullpen and other places. It was hilarious. And it's ball 4. So Hernandez, who is among the league leaders in walks, picks up his 27th walk. He's 3rd in the league. Craig Nettles leads with 30.
Number 8.
All right, here's the question again. Do you know who was the only Met whose initials were M.E.T.? You want to venture a guess?
I didn't know his middle initial, but I used to watch Marvin Throneberry play football at Southside High School when I was a wee tot, about 8 years old. I lived 2 blocks from the high school that Marvin attended, Southside. He was quite a football player. Is that Marvin Throneberry?
You are correct. Marvin Eugene Throneberry.
I didn't know that.
That is he. Gary Carter takes high and tight for ball 1. Yes, Marvin Eugene, the marvelous one.
Marvelous Marv.
Mr. Met.
He was marvelous.
And he still looks marvelous, as Billy Crystal would say.
Yes, sir.
One out, Hernandez at first base. And it's ball 2 to Carter. Carter retired on a nice play by third baseman Chris Brown in the 2nd inning as Gott gets a new baseball. Gary has batted .333 over the last 6 ball games. Hernandez asking for the signs again. Third base coach Bud Harrelson.
You don't give in to a hitter like Carter here with the count 2-0. If you're going to throw the fastball, you're going to throw it away. See Trevino moving out there, away from the power slot.
Grounded to third again. Brown to second. Trio on to first. Double play. First double play of the ball game around the horn. 5-4-3 ends the fourth. So a walk, but nobody left, and it's still 0-0 in the middle of the fourth inning. Now here's a word from Purelator Courier.
People who risk their lives just for the heck of it. Join Reg Wells for Adventures. A special report tonight at 8 on News 9 Primetime. Risk their lives just for the heck of it.
Candlestick fans.
Number 30.
Catchers.
Right fielder Chili Davis.
Catchers is appropriate. Chili Davis to lead it off against Dwight Gooden here in the bottom of the fourth. Each club with only one hit. As Gooden and Gott have got a good one going. Davis struck out his first time up. And he misses that pitch, strike one. Chili's hit .333 over the last 10 games, however, one of the very few San Francisco Giants to be swinging a good bat. Fastball high, 1-1.
He's not getting around on that fastball. I think you do him a favor in this situation to throw him the breaking ball. Gooden threw him the breaking ball the first time up on the first pitch. So technically you've shown it to him, and now it's just Powder River.
Until he shows you he can get some bat on the ball. There's the curveball. He was looking for the fastball, as were we.
Everybody in the park was, I think.
That's 1-2. Another breaking ball. That one's outside. 2-2. Gooden is 1-0 for his career against the Giants, having beaten them once last year. Tried to get out of the way, fouled it off. It's still 2-2. That fastball had some ride on it.
Had some giddy up on it.
Wind is blowing from left to right, basically in from left center field. Too high, and it's now 3-2.
Oh, baseball saying, watch the wind. I've never seen anybody who could watch the wind. You watch the results of the wind.
Toss the flags. Take a little grass and throw it up. In certain parks. Grounded foul. Still 3-2. Davis is leading off here in the fourth. Nobody on, nobody out, no score. It's interesting that all the West Coast stadiums in each league, either league, have natural grass surfaces. There's no artificial turf on the West Coast except in Seattle, which of course has to have it because it's inside. Still 3-2 as Davis fouled another one off.
Candlestick Park is a beautifully manicured field.
Boy, oh boy. If he can read that, he's got better eyes than I do.
He thinks he's in Silicon Valley.
Which isn't far from here.
That's right.
Still a full count. Well, this park is beautifully manicured, but I'll tell you one thing. It's much better for football than it is for baseball.
Indeed.
Not only is it 1.5 miles, as you or Ralph were talking about, from home plate to the dugout, from the clubhouse to the dugout is about 8 miles, and from the press box to the press room is about 10 miles. I mean, I don't know who designed it. Base hit by Davis after a very good at bat against Gooden. Chili Davis hangs in there and lines yet another 3-2 pitch into center field. Second hit off Gooden.
And you got the feeling that the only ball Davis was going to get around on was the ball down. You do not have to have as quick a bat to hit the low fastball as you do the high fastball. And as you saw on your screen, Chili Davis just dropped the head of the bat on it and ropes one up the middle.
Now here's Gary Racich. Giants first baseman and former Met, struck out his first time up. 2 for 5 in this series. Had 2 doubles in yesterday's game. And he misses the fastball, strike one. The Giants have had an on-again, off-again situation in 2 respects. 1, the sale and movement of the ball club, and 2, what they're going to do about a new ballpark here.
It's got to be disconcerting to the players and to the management of the Giants. have really had a tough time scoring this year.
Racich bunting, pops it up, but it's way out of play in foul territory. So it's strike two. And they've also had a problem drawing. They're even behind last year's attendance, which was not all that great.
Give you an idea about how tough it has been for them to score runs. They've scored 5 runs or more only 7 times in 42 ball games this year.
And yet their staff leads the National League in ERA. They're going to be the Pittsburgh of the 1985 season if they
good comparison
don't change. Pirates, of course, the first team ever to finish first in ERA and last in the standings. Lined base hit left field just over Santana's glove. Chili Davis stops at second base, and with nobody out, the Giants have something going with runners at first and second.
Well, there's not much you can do about this. You can't protect against everything, and Racich just kind of slaps one over the shortstop, Santana's head. Rafi cheating a little bit for the double play, not a little bit, a lot. Had he been in normal position, he may have had a chance to feel that ball, but you got to cheat and cheat a little closer to second base in a double play situation.
Because the ball was so far to his right, he couldn't really jump up at all. He had to move over. And here's Jeff Leonard. Leonard has finally gotten his average up over 200. He's hitting 209 coming into today, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Right now at 208. Runners at first and second. Nobody out. We're in the bottom of the fourth with no score. 2 low, ball 1.
Dwight Gooden went 1 and 2 to Davis. He got a hit. 0 and 2 to Racich. He got a hit. Having a tough time finishing Giants off in this inning.
Fouled on a play, 1 and 1. And right here is where he really needs a strikeout. Chili Davis, the runner at second, and Gary Racich, the runner at first. Gooden takes too much time, so Leonard steps out. The Doctor has allowed 3 hits, struck out 3, and walked 1. Fastball right in there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastball fouled off Carter's mask. 1 and 2.
Leonard had a pitch to hit right there. That ball down in the strike zone, similar to the one that Davis hit. Carter takes yet another shot off the arm. Crawled up the arm, popped him in the mask.
Not only hit him in the mask, hit him right on the side. That really probably knocked his head sideways. Shake those cobwebs out, Gary. 1 and 2. Breaking ball got him. Curveball low and away. And it's strikeout number 4 for Gooden.
Jeff Leonard certainly set up for this pitch after 4 fastballs in a row, and he goes for a bad ball, but a quality curveball from Dwight Gooden, who finally finishes off the third hitter. He had run the count to 1-2 to Davis, 0-2 to Racich. They both got hits, and now on a 1-2 pitch, Leonard strikes out.
Looks like the K corner's a little behind things there.
No dedication like the guys at Shea, huh?
They couldn't have come here with only 2 Ks expecting Gooden to only strike out 2. Breaking ball fouled off by Chris Brown, and it's strike 1. Brown popped out to second baseman Wally Backman his first time up.
Tell you, in order to beat Dwight Gooden, you got to do something unusual, and with 1 out, it'd be a good try if Chili Davis tried to steal third. Gooden is not really paying a lot of attention to him down there. If he gets to third with less than 2 outs, you can score on something other than a single.
Snap throw to first, and Hernandez has to jump over the bag. Racich got back in time. The swing and a miss makes it 0-2 to Chris Brown. Brown, incidentally, with runners in scoring position, and of course there's Chili Davis at second base. Brown is hitting .400. He's gotten 10 hits with runners in scoring position and has picked up 11 RBIs with those 10 hits. Two strikes. And it's well hit to right field. Heap has a bead on it, though. Makes the catch. Davis tags and will move to third as Racich goes back to first. So with 2 out, the Giants now with runners at first and third.
That's why Dwight Gooden needed that strikeout against Jeff Leonard. Had Leonard moved Davis up to third with 1 out, then Davis scores on that fly ball.
And
well,
also
there's certain situations, excuse me, Steve, but there are certain situations where you've got to have the strikeout or the pop-up or something that prevents the runners from moving.
And it also exemplifies your point about his attempted steal of third in an effort to get there with 1 out. Here's Alex Trevino, who grounded out to short his first time up. Fastball at the knee, strike 1.
When you've got an unusual talent like Dwight Gooden out there, you're not going to, generally speaking, you're not going to beat him in a usual fashion. So you have to play unusual baseball to beat an unusual talent.
That's a very good point. And there's a very good fastball. 0-2. Yeah, the normal way of doing things, you can't expect them to work against a guy like Gooden. Especially since he has shown throughout his early career that he can bear down when he gets in a situation and really bring something extra to the plate.
For that reason, you may see Gary Racich trying to go, see if they can steal a run here.
And Gooden mows him down. Trevino's gone on 3 pitches. Gooden has struck out 5 through the first 4 and does so leaving Giants at first and third here in the 4th inning. No score at the end of 4, and now here's a word from the good old Skies.
Games starting later on this afternoon. Only 3 other games scheduled. What about the American League? Well, 1 game in progress now. Detroit over Oakland 3-2. That game in the 7th inning. California at Yankee Stadium tonight. The Angels and Reggie Jackson at Bronxville. Seattle at Baltimore. Minnesota at Boston. And Kansas City at Chicago. Those Kansas City Royals playing good baseball. 6 games over 500.
George Foster to lead it off for the Mets in the top of the 5th inning. Foster with a double to right center back in the 2nd, was stranded at 3rd. No score as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Jim Gott on the mound for the Giants against New York's Dwight Gooden. And a breaking ball low for ball 1. That'll be out of play. 1-1. See George featuring those Ben Bonafide sunglasses a la Mookie Wilson. Mookie has really been hitting the ball extremely well since he went to those glasses. I don't know if they really have that much effect or whether it's a coincidence. Foster rips one deep. Is it fair or foul? Home run. George Foster hit one down the left field line and deep into the seats in left field. What a shot. The Mets lead 1-0.
Well, once again, George Foster is allowed to extend those big arms. I mean, he hit this ball a ton. Good thing this ballpark does not have an upper deck that's reachable, because George may have reached it. I mean, this ball is hit a ton. Oh, it's like hitting a ball off the tee. You see him extend those arms. The only question was whether it was going to be fair or foul. Way back up in the seats.
Home run number 7 for Foster as Danny Heap takes a strike. And George now with 18 RBIs. Only the 3rd home run that Jim Gott has given up this year, and he has pitched now 53 innings. Danny Heap loops one to left field, Leonard on, and he makes the catch. One away.
Number 20.
With that home run, George takes over the leadership in that department for the Mets. Well, February 2nd through February 9th at St. Petersburg, the Dreamers will be out. They'll work out for a week at Payson Complex with the big league instructors and then play the game at Al Lang Stadium against the former Mets.
Dream week. A lot of fun. Here's Howard Johnson. And Johnson takes a strike.
Among other things, Dreamers received their own uniform and baseball card, also a video cassette of their week with the Mets.
And coming up on June 21st, I think it's the 21st, Friday night, the Dream Weekers from this past year are going to be honored at Shea.
So if you want to involve yourself in that fun week in February, you can get information by calling the Mets during regular business hours at 718-507-METS.
Well hit, but right at Trio, and it's off his glove into right field. A one-hopper right in front of Manny Trio. We'll see how they score it.
It's funny. Howard Johnson hits another rocket. His first one was at Racich. This one off the heel of the glove of Manny Trio. And it was interesting as Bill Webb showed Howard Johnson at first base. You know, Howard's really been struggling, and you want something like that scored a base hit, and now they've changed it to an error. That is really tough scoring right there. But, I mean, when you're on first base, you know, that's your business, whether it's a hit or an error, and some guys are blatant the way they look at the scoreboard. There's no peeking. When you've been struggling like Howard Johnson, you don't care about, you know, pride or anything like that. You want to hit any way you can get it.
Well, I think he deserved one on that. That's a tough error on Trio and an unfair scoring decision against Johnson.
I agree.
First error of the ball game. And here's Rafael Santana. They pitch out, but nothing happening. Johnson's at first with one out. George Foster has given the Mets a 1-0 lead with his 7th home run of the year, leading off here in the 5th. In the count, 1 ball to Santana, who grounded out his first time up. Now Johnson's running, and the pitch is grounded over Gott's glove. Uribe will have to go to first, and they get Santana there. Johnson moves on to second now with 2 out. I think Gott touched that ball.
Number 16.
So you score at 1-6-3.
Speaking of that ball that Howard Johnson hit, you know, a bad hop, Steve, does not necessarily have to be a high hop. A bad hop, I think the definition of a bad hop is a hop that's not gaugeable. And I thought that ball to Trio was a non-gaugeable hop. The ball did stay down, but then it kind of skidded toward the glove, and those are bad hops, just like the ones that hop over their shoulder or something like that.
Plus, the ball was hit so hard that's another argument for calling it a base hit. Dwight Gooden grounded to third his first time up. Swung and missed for strike 1. That'll be out of play, and it's strike 2. Two out with Howard Johnson at second. Gooden asking for time. Well, hit to center field, but not deep enough. Dan Gladden there, and the inning is over. But the Mets pick up a run on one hit, George Foster's 7th home run of the year. And in the middle of the 5th, the Mets lead the Giants 1-0. Now here's a word from Budweiser. The Mets take on the National League champion San Diego Padres from San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium tomorrow night. 10 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time, right here on WOR TV. And as we go to the bottom of the 5th with the Mets leading 1-0, and to call it for you is Tim McCarver.
All right, Steve. Jose Uribe, the batter. He popped to short his first time up. The Giants lead in hits 3-2, but the Mets lead in the big department 1-0. 1-0 to Jose Uribe. Little looper. Oh, what a play, Johnson. Oh, baby. He had to play Uribe shallow for the possibility of a bunt. Man, what a play by Johnson.
Johnson really with a fine effort as he goes back on this ball 51. A lot farther than it looks in your picture, because he started quite a while before you actually saw him. And I mean, he's fully extended and, as you can tell, considerably off balance when he makes the catch.
You know, and his angle was bad on that ball because it was right back over his head.
He's played an outstanding third base.
Indeed he has. Good play, Howard Johnson, and the batter Jim Gott. He takes a heater for a strike.
So we could call Jim the Karate Kid, huh? Or
yeah.
Karate.
Hapkido. He is a karate enthusiast. Hapkido karate, which is a defensive form of karate. Jim fouls it back. Primarily used as a defensive measure and primarily not related to the hands, we understand.
And that's unusual because the word karate, or karate, however you pronounce it, means empty hand. That's what it stands for, I understand. Meaning a method of defense without a weapon.
That is also the definition of our director, Bill Webb, when the check comes.
Empty hand.
So we'll start calling him the Karate Kid.
Center fielder Dan.
Old empty hands.
6 strikeout for Dwight Gooden and the batter Dan Gladden.
Cruel and vicious.
Only serious.
Yeah, wouldn't kid you, Bill, if we didn't mean it.
And Dan Gladden swings and misses. Danny, perfect day at the plate. He's 1 for 1. He walked and stole a base in the first.
Talking about being in a slump. Coming into this game, he's hitting only 197 over the last 17 games.
A guy like this can help you when he's not hitting too well. If he can get on base via the error or base on balls, he's got a small strike zone. He walks a lot. Good base runner. Nasty curveball there, 1-2.
Dwight actually has 6 Ks so far, and they're one behind up there too. Who's keeping score here?
Takes experience.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Number 6. He must be running those off on a mimeograph machine.
He might be running out of tape up there. Nobody said it'd be easy. Well, the scoreboard says 1-2 to Dan Gladden.
Boy. Gary Carter didn't know where that ball was going.
Scoreboard has 2-2. Our indicator says 3-2. We'll see. Oh, boy. Now, that's being crossed up right there. Gary looking for the heater, and he got the local.
Almost broke in on an unprotected body.
Swing and a miss. He got him. 7th strikeout for the doctor as the Giants go in order. In 14 innings over the last 2 years, the Giants haven't scored against Gooden in this ballpark. We'll be right back right after this word from American Express.
You know, one of the best things about being an ex-big leaguer is getting freebies to the game. Call the front office, bingo. And once these fans recognize me, I probably won't even have to pay for my light beer from Miller. I love them. These fans know I drink light because it's less filling and it tastes great. Good seats, huh?
You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on.
Oh, I must be in the front row. Come on.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Good seats, hey, buddy? He missed the tag! He missed the tag!
Bobby Darin in the background. That is not Bobby Darin there. There's a guy getting in the spirit of things. White Gooden with 7 Ks. We're going to say that Bobby Darin singing Mac the Knife. Classic from some 25 years ago or so. Mookie Wilson leads it off for the Mets. Mets lead 1-0. Top of the 6th inning. Mookie is K'd twice. And he fouls it away. A lot of things in baseball. You don't know where terms that from which you don't know where they were derived. And K is one of them. Why is a strike a K?
They kind of wonder because
KO, strikeout.
knocked him out of there, I guess.
KO.
Ball,
KO'd.
ball
Strike.
was K'd by Manny Trio, as in kicked. Ground ball by Mookie. Trio's over there. The ball stayed down. I think he thought it was going to come up. But, boy, you got to keep the tailgate down here. He just did get it in his web, and it flipped right back out because his positioning was not what it should have been.
A KO in a boxing match is a knockdown, right?
Knockout.
Technical knockout. Was a strikeout a knockout?
I guess that's where it came from. I thought
Are we getting too involved here?
I don't know.
Wally back to the batter. Wally 0 for 2.
I thought it had something to do with the manner in which the game was scored, and the S's were used for other things like sacrifices and things like that, so they had to come up with something else.
Okay.
But
1-0 to Backman.
KO makes sense.
Wilson a threat to run it first. Backman a threat to do most anything, either bunt, hit and run. They've got a lot of options here. Mets have the hammer, 1-0. Top of the 6th. Mets trying to win their 4th game against the Giants in 5 tries. And a bunt attempt, and it's a beauty. Trevino safe at first base.
This is Wally's 9th or 10th bunt base hit, I think.
Number 17.
And boy, you talk about a ball that just died in a perfect place. Trevino gave it a fine effort, but Backman runs so well and bunted the ball so perfectly that Trevino, even though he came out hard and picked and threw in one motion, couldn't get him.
Right guy fielded that ball. The catcher, the guy going toward first base, the play's in front of him. So the Mets with a chance to do some damage here. First and second, nobody out, and Keith Hernandez the batter. Keith 0 for 1. Fastball is low. 1-0 to Keith Hernandez. Frank Williams now warming for the Giants. It was during the 6th inning that Jim Gott left his last game against the Mets. That was May 18th. He left there with at Shea with a stiff shoulder. Heater outside, 2-0.
Hernandez leads the Mets in RBIs with 22, one ahead of Gary Carter, who is on deck.
There's a strike on the corner, 2-1.
Keith didn't like that call, and he was ejected in the 8th inning in yesterday's ball game for arguing a called strike.
So he will probably not be as vociferous today as he was yesterday. Grounded right side. Trio. Uribe. Double play. 4 to 6 to 3. Wilson moves to third, and with 2 out, the batter Gary Carter.
Well, Trio's committed 2 errors, one a tough one, but he plays this ball perfectly. Uribe way off the bag with the little neighborhood play at second. Watch this. And Backman trying to get out there and bother him. Second double play turned by the Giants today. Now they're making Mookie go back.
You know, I was going to say I thought that might be interference, and with interference on Mookie Wilson's slide at second base, you've got to be able to touch second base, and he went too far out of the line. Check it out.
Yeah, watch where Backman is here. See, he's 5 feet from the bag. 4 feet anyway.
So the double play is automatic. Davy Johnson out to talk to Bob Engel. And that play takes a lot of guts to call, and I thought Paul Runge made the right call there because Backman had no way of touching second base. He was too far out of there. It's a good try by Wally because the double play was made anyway.
That's right, and this is not called that often, but it is the rule. And so what they're going to do is they're going to make Mookie Wilson go back to second base. The double play stands.
Right.
But Mookie does not get to advance to third because Backman is automatically out for going out of the baseline.
Davy Johnson didn't argue vehemently because it's not that big a deal. Mookie can still score on a base hit, but he can't score on a wild pitch, pass, ball, or error, or something of that nature. Balk. Well, anyway, Gary Carter the batter with 2 out. Mookie now at second. Gary is 0 for 2, and he takes a fastball low. Say, Mets fans, you can have it all with Michelob Light. Super premium taste and a less filling beer. Line drive, it could fall. Gladden's going to get to it, but no chance to get Mookie Wilson. And the Mets lead it 2-0. Another big hit by Gary Carter. Oh, baby, those 2 out base hits. Man.
They are so important and quite often separate the winning teams from the losing teams as much as any other statistic. Gladden, although he has good speed, couldn't get to it, and Mookie's with outstanding speed. Scores very easily. Here's Gladden's throw from center field.
Number 15. Left fielder George Foster.
Kind of a decoy by Racich, the first baseman, in an effort to hold Carter, but there was nobody at first base anyway. Carter now tied with Hernandez with 22 RBI.
Here's the boomer of the afternoon. George Foster with a double and a home run. 7th home run of the year. RBI number 18. Now he's going to that tight fastball, and I would imagine he'll give Foster a steady diet of those tight heaters. He's seen what he can do when he extends his arms. Huh?
Twice. Double off the right center field wall, and then the home run deep down the left field line.
And he did jam him on this one. Dan Gladden is in and under and makes the catch. But the Mets tack on another one. They did it with 2 base hits. Costly error by the Giants and 1 stranded. And after 5.5, it's 2-0 New York. After this word from Michelob Light.
The upper deck, and we invite you along with them to see light heavyweight champion, Michael Spinks take on Diamond Jim McDonald in just one of 3 bouts featuring the nation's top boxers. Don King presents D-Day Dynamite, the biggest fight night of the year on Thursday, June 6th. That's D-Day, of course, 8 o'clock right here on Channel 9. And the batter's going to be Manny Trio to lead it off for the Giants. Dwight Gooden with 7 strikeouts. He has walked 1 and allowed only 3 hits. He has the lead 2-0. Mets trying to get off to a good start on this road trip. This road trip out to the West Coast has buried Eastern Division teams over the years. And last year, the Mets played very well on the coast, but not necessarily here against San Francisco. They had less success here than either San Diego or Los Angeles, which is kind of ironic since the Giants
played the Mets tough. They played them tough last year, winning 8 of 12 encounters, and a fastball as a strike. 0-1 to Manny. Manny entered the game batting .228. Another heater is high. 1-1 to Manny Trio. Calvin Schiraldi down loosening up. Calvin was activated this afternoon from the disabled list. Ground ball. Good play, Johnson. And Hernandez can't come up with it. Actually, Johnson had more time than he thought, but he threw the ball low, and Keith had a tough chance. So we'll see how they're going to score it. Base hit.
Number 30, right fielder Chili Davis.
This ball right in the hole, and Johnson goes over, makes a diving stop just on the grass, and now as he goes to right himself, he's really still off balance when he throws the ball. And like you said, Tim, he did have a little more time and could have gotten himself squared away and made a better throw, but it short hopped Hernandez, went up his arm, and it's a base hit.
So with Trio at first, nobody out, the batter Chili Davis. Each team now has 4 base hits. Giants had a golden opportunity to score in the 4th inning. Davis single, Racich single, but then Leonard struck out, Brown flied out, and Trevino struck out. Line drive, it could be in there and will be. Nice play by Foster, and Manny Trio is held at third. Good play, George Foster in left field. Boy, that ball gotten by him. Trio scores, and Davis has a triple.
Foster just saved a run. There's no doubt about it as George cuts this ball off. This ball slicing into the gap, and watch Foster run it down. George gets this ball just before it gets to the warning track and gets it to the cutoff man as quickly as he can. 2 more hops and that ball's at the wall, and there's a run in. And like you said, Timmy, Davis is on third base.
Yes, sir. Davis now on second base. He represents a tying run. Giants have second and third and nobody out. There once again that low fastball that Davis got around on, huh?
Just hit his 11th double of the year.
Gary Racich, the batter, he's 1 for 2. 5 base hits now for the Giants. Infield back. Howard Johnson at third is in. Breaking ball gets away from Carter, but he retrieves in time. So it's 1-0 to Gary Racich. Jeff Leonard, the on-deck batter.
This again points out the importance of blocking the ball with your body, your leg, your foot, anything you can to keep it essentially in front of you. Even though it's quite a ways away from the plate, the fact that it is toward the playing field rather than toward the backstop is what kept the runner at third base.
Carter looked like Kelly Lindbergh on that play, didn't he?
Skate save.
Hopped up in the infield. Hernandez waving everybody off. Tough son, he makes the catch. 1 out. Big out right there.
Back in the 4th inning, San Francisco had runners at first and third as you watch Hernandez battle the sun and the wind. Stay with it and make a good, sure two-handed catch. The Giants eventually got Davis over to third and runners at first and third. And Gooden came up with 2 strikeouts and a fly ball to get out of the inning. So he's in a similar situation, although a little bit tougher here with runners at second and third.
And again, the Mets will play their infield back as Jeff Leonard steps in there. He has struck out and grounded sharply to third. 2-0 New York, but it's a precarious lead at best as Calvin Schiraldi continues to throw. Breaking ball gets away from Carter, and Trio's not going to try to score. Oh, man.
I don't believe that, and neither does Gary Carter. He turned in disbelief. Manny Trio was halfway down the line and just flat stopped. Look at this ball come up off the plate. It hit Carter right in the chest. He had a little trouble getting out, and I don't know what the base runners were thinking about.
Of course, it's up to Trio. Really, Davis can't be faulted, because if Davis goes, then you got 2 guys on third. Not a good offensive situation.
No. Well, there's Chuck Hiller, the third base coach. He had a few words with Manny. I don't know if Hiller told him to stop or not, obviously.
Well, he could share the blame, but really, you're on your own out there.
I mean, Trio had the play in front of him. He knew just how far away the ball was, and Carter even stumbled trying to get out after it.
You can't run those bases by rote. Go with the flow. 1-0 to Leonard. Swing and a miss. 1-1. There again, the Giants failing to take advantage of an unusual play. They're playing this game straight up, and you play it straight up against Gooden, you're going to end up second best. Jim Davenport frustrated at the events so far this afternoon. Fastball is low. 2-1 to Jeff Leonard. Chris Brown, the third baseman, is on deck. 1 out. Runners at second and third. Swing and a miss at a blazer. 2-2. Steps out of there as he has waited long enough. Manny Trio at third base. Chili Davis at second. Only 1 away. Swing and a miss. He got him. 8th strikeout for Gooden. And the Boo Birds are out here at Candlestick, but Gooden's not out of it yet.
Well, Dwight with 3 blazing fastballs to retire Leonard. Boy, not only was that some kind of heater, but it had some kind of location.
A tight location right around the letters. I shouldn't say tight because that ball was out over the plate, but it was around the letters, and it's really got that upward movement. Well, here's Chris Brown. He's flied to right and popped to second. 2 out now, so Gooden's partially out of that well. Swing and a miss. All the great pitchers have the capacity to reach back. You're looking at a great pitcher right there, folks.
Now'd be the time to put one of those radar guns on him. Not in the first inning.
Strike 2. 0-2 to Chris Brown.
This pitch right at the knees, apparently. Very close.
Yes, it was. 0-2 to Brown. Brown had a good cut at that one. So he's still alive. Still 0-2. Runners at second and third. 2 out. The Mets up by 2.
Did you break one off on him here?
I might be inclined to do so, my friend. See how Carter and Gooden work Chris Brown. Another heater. Gooden shook Gary Carter off, so he probably shook the curveball off, and Brown hung right in there, fouling one off. We'll see what Gary calls for here. Got me.
He called for a lot of things.
Fastball is high. Did he go around? No.
Tough to pick up those signs with a runner at second base because Carter obviously going through a sequence.
Looks like he gave the same sequence. Another fastball, and Brown a quality at bat. Still 1-2. If he's not set up for that yacker now, he never will be. 5 fastballs in a row.
It's time for Lord Charles.
As opposed to Uncle Charlie.
That's right. That's right. right has one working. It's Lord Charles.
Different sequence there. We'll see. Breaking ball fouled away. So he got the curveball, but he fouls it off. Still 1-2.
It's a good battle right here. Gooden's bringing up everything he can, and Brown is hanging tough.
Jams him with a fastball. What a classic confrontation this is. If there are such things as mini classic confrontations.
The only thing that makes it mini, I guess, is it's not in the World Series or the playoffs or
That's
something.
right.
It's all has a lot to do with the arena, but there are confrontations like this every day in baseball.
That's right. A marvelous game to watch. Still 1-2 to Chris Brown. Swing and a miss. He got him with a fastball. If that confrontation had occurred in a World Series, they'd be talking about it for years to come. No runs, 2 hits, 2 stranded for the Giants. And after 6, it's 2-0 New York. Now here's a word from the good old guys.
After Gooden pitched out of the 6th inning, as we go to the top of the 7th, and back in is Ralph Kiner.
Okay, Steve Zabriskie, and you got something special going for you? Working up here in short sleeves?
I guess a little bit of that Tim McCarver's rubbing off on me, who is never cold.
Never let it get you cold, huh?
I'll tell you, though, I can handle the heat a lot better than I can handle the cold. I'm sitting here with my arms folded, about ready to put my jacket back on.
Well, our man up here, Grady, he's got the temperature up here at 68 degrees in the booth, huh?
That doesn't count the wind chill factor. That wind is picked up.
You can set your clock by that wind.
Boy, those flags are really blowing out in center field now.
Danny Heap to lead off for the Mets. Danny 0 for 2 in the ball game. A little look at what's taking place here at Candlestick. And the fastball fouled away. Jim Gott working for the Giants. One of the most unusual balks ever called in baseball history. 1 ball, 1 strike was against Stu Miller, pitching in an all-star game. He went up to wind up, and the wind blew him back off the mound.
Only here would that happen.
2-1 the count.
Well, that wind picks up about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon out here, and that's one reason they've gone to noon starting times for the majority of their games here.
I was out here one time in the evening, about 6 o'clock, and I saw the batting cage used for batting practice blowing all the way out to the mound. That is heavy.
Boy, that's some kind of wind.
2-0 Mets. The count on Heap. 2-1. And the high pop-up. And this isn't an adventure. Everybody will look for it. Who's going to get it? And it's Chris Brown, the third baseman.
We've talked about the fact that this is a good day, relatively speaking, as far as Candlestick is concerned.
Number 20.
It's also a little bit better here in some respects since they enclosed the park and built the upper deck around the outfield seats, which, of course, they did basically for football. But what that has done is it's caused the wind now to swirl around in here, which I guess is a trade-off rather than blowing straight on.
And now the batter, Howard Johnson. Howard 0 for 2. He should have had a base hit. Hit a smash that went off the glove of Manny Trillo, the second baseman, that was charged as an error. One time the Mets were playing here before they enclosed the ballpark. Third baseman was Rod Keneal, and a fly ball was hit out the left, and Keneal went charging out the left field. He ran into Duke Snyder, and Duke says, "What are you doing out here?" He says, "I'm after the ball." He says, "Well, it's back there at third." Another high pop-up. This time the right fielder, Chili Davis, and he corrals it. So 2 men away. Batter coming up, Rafael Santana. Rafael 0 for 2. Mets have 2 runs on 4 hits, and the Giants have no runs on 5. Rafael Santana and Jim Gott with a fastball. This will be Gott's last inning of work. He is due to be the third batter. when the Giants come up in their half of the 7th inning. Again, a fastball, 2 balls, no strikes.
Giant starters have done a good job. Not only do they lead the league as far as the staff ERA of 2.67 is concerned, and Gott's only given up 1 earned run today, but they have pitched an average of 6 2/3 per start.
And now the count goes to 3-0. To sum it up, the Giants have had their problems with their power hitters, their 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th batters in the batting order. A strike call. They have driven in only 9 runs in their last 10 ball games, including this one. Giants have lost 7 of their last 9, not including this one. Drive into the corner in left field. It'll be extra bases. And it's off the top of the screen. Santana eases in with a 2-base hit.
Santana picks up his 4th double of the year, and he just misses his 2nd home run by a couple of feet as this ball just hits below that top of the fence, sort of a chicken wire or a cyclone type fence out there. And with that 2-out base hit, the Mets will at least be able to clear the pitcher Dwight Gooden.
Dwight has been up twice. He has not had a base hit. He's had 4 hits and 25 at bats this year. And Dwight fouls off the fastball. Watch it.
A baseball is not worth your life. That upper deck be a very precarious place.
That's top right out to Gott. That retires the side. So the Mets get a base hit, leave 1, and the score at the end of 6.5 innings. The Mets 2, the Giants nothing. And now he'll be pitching to Jose Uribe. And a ground ball to Santana. Santana, nice play on it, throws it in the dirt. But the Gold Glove of Keith Hernandez takes it out of the dirt for the out. Now we'll have a pinch hitter. It's going to be Dwayne Kuiper as a pinch hitter.
Dwayne Kuiper has an outstanding career batting average against the New York Mets. There's Frank Williams, who will be the next pitcher. Kuiper, for his career, is hitting .375 against New York. This will be his first official at bat against the Mets this season, hitting .500 on the year.
Kuiper has gone longer than anybody in the history of baseball without a home run. He's had 1 home run, but since that home run, he has not hit another.
As a pinch hitter this year, he is 1 for 2. He's only 1 for 2 overall.
And he takes the pitch for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Kuiper hit a home run back in 1977 off Steve Stone. That's the last home run he has hit. And a strike call, and they count 2-1. He has gone 1,994 at bats since his last home run 7 years ago.
You ask him about it, and he says, well, I've been in the big leagues 10 years. I've hit 1 home run. I think 1 every 10 years is enough.
And he fouls off the fastball. It's 2-2. He's a very articulate fellow and does a lot of broadcasting. As a matter of fact, he was in the broadcasting booth earlier this year when he was not on the roster. And again, the foul ball. Kuiper has had the only hit as you look at Dwight Gooden ask for a new ball. In no-hit bids by Andy Hassler, Nolan Ryan, and Ron Guidry.
I guess he's not too popular with him.
Ryan, of course, has thrown 5 no-hit, no-run games, more than anybody. Kuiper broke up 1. That would have been number 6. Ground ground ball to Johnson at third. And now 2 men away.
Fans, Gary Carter, the Leukemia Society of America, and Channel 9 have all teamed up to offer a full color ready for framing poster of Gary in action. To get your copy, send a check or a money order for $5 to the Leukemia Society Gary Carter poster, Box 77, New York, New York, 10001. All proceeds will go directly to the Leukemia Society of America.
Now it's Dan Gladden at the plate. Gladden 1 for 2 in this game with a walk. And the fastball foul back into the stands. Mets leading 2-1. 2 men out. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Giants have lost more one-run ball games than any team in the National League. They have lost 15 going into this game, and the Mets have won more one-run ball games than any team in the National League. They have won 14. One strike to count to Dan Gladden. And the fastball foul back. Gooden has walked 1, and that was Gladden as he led off back in the first. Gladden had the first base hit when he singled in the third. First base hit off of Dwight Gooden. Goes to the curveball, and the count 1-2. Ball topped out of the third base side. It'll roll foul.
Gooden over to wisely slap that ball farther into foul territory, as it was very close to the line, because if it were to roll back into fair territory before it passed the third base bag, and that ball had no chance of getting to the third base bag, it would have been a fair ball.
One of the great questions in baseball about baseball rules: if a line drive goes right back to the middle and hits the pitching rubber and then goes foul before it gets beyond third base or first base, what is it?
Foul ball.
Foul ball, as long as it's not touched.
Of course, if it hits a pitcher, and then that's another story.
And it's a sore leg or something.
And a base hit usually.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Dan Gladden. Roscoe throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. Mets leading 2-1. 2 men out, bottom of the 7th inning. Struck him out. Gooden gets his 10th strikeout. That ends the inning. 1 run in the home run by Trevino. No one left on base. The score at the end is 7. The Mets 2 and the Giants 1. Now here's a word from Michelob Light. Mets leading 2-1, and for the Mets it'll be Mookie Wilson the lead off. New pitcher in the ball game for the Giants.
Frank Williams relieving Jim Gott, who was pinch hit for by Dwayne Kuiper. Williams 0-1 with a 6.17 ERA. This is his 12th appearance. He's finished 5 games, no saves. He's pitched to only 11 2/3 innings. He's given up 12 hits, 8 earned runs, 1 home run, walked 7, and struck out 11 in those 11 2/3 innings.
Williams originally signed by the Giants, their 11th selection in the June 1979 draft. Last year with the Giants, he was 9-4 with 1 complete game.
Jim Gott pitches 7 innings, gives up 2 runs, only 1 of them earned on 5 hits. He struck out 3, walked 1 batter, and allowed 1 home run, George Foster's home run. That was only the 3rd that Gott has given up this year. And of course, he stands to be the losing pitcher should the score remain the same.
Number 1, center fielder Mookie Wilson.
So Mookie Wilson making his way to home plate. Mookie is 0 for 3 in today's ball game. Struck out twice. and was safe on an error by Manny Trio. That error opened the gates for the Mets to get an unearned run in the 6th inning, and that's the difference in the ball game right now. Williams for ball 1. Mookie hitting .297 at the start of the ball game. And it's topped out in front of home plate. It is a fair ball, and that's it for Mookie Wilson. He thinks it's foul. If that ball hits foul and comes back into fair territory, it is a fair ball. Davey Johnson had to take up Mookie's case.
I think Davey also wanted him to get some help on the play because he's probably telling Engel, how can you call that play from behind the catcher? And now Davey's out of the game. He's not going to leave without a few parting comments, however.
Second Met to be ejected from a ball game in this series. Keith Hernandez yesterday, and now Dave Johnson. Bob Engel, home plate umpire.
All right, here it is again. Mookie hits the ball right straight down. It looked like it landed in foul territory to me. Now here comes Trevino. He gets the ball. Is he in fair or foul territory? That's what counts. He tags Mookie right there, and Engel calls him out.
It looked like the ball was in fair territory.
That's all that matters. Davey's been ejected, and there's one out. And score that 2 unassisted, by the way.
And Davey handing over the lineup cards to Bud Harrelson, the third base coach. Ball hits behind the plate.
Yeah, it hits back there, right? You see it in foul territory. Now, where does Trevino field the ball? He jumped. You see him jump, trying to get into fair territory, which really doesn't matter either. It's where the ball is. Davey's contention is that from the angle that Engel had, I'm assuming his contention is, he couldn't tell whether it was fair or foul and should have gotten help from Dave Pallone, the first base umpire, who's looking right down the foul line. On the baseline.
So now the batter will be Wally Backman as the Mets lose their manager, and Backman takes. It's ball 1. Bud Harrelson running the ball club now as Dave Johnson is out of the game. Backman, who had a bunt base hit his last time up, moves in the bunting position, takes for ball 2. Wally now has had 9 bunt base hits this year. 9 out of 27. And a ball. 3-0 the count to Backman.
9 out of 27 is not bad. You can hit .333 all the time. Be on your way to Cooperstown.
And a strike call. It's 3-1. Backman, who had a .360 on base average last year, is now down to a .302 on base average.
And that's one reason he's batting second instead of leading off.
And a strike call, 3-2. Strike 3. So after working the count to 3-0, Backman called out on strikes.
Let's check out the National League scoreboard. Only one other game in progress. San Diego leading Montreal 3-1 after 4 innings. And later it'll be St. Louis at Atlanta and Philadelphia at Los Angeles.
Now with 2 men out, Keith Hernandez will bat. Keith is 0 for 2 and 2 for 16 against the Giants this year. Keith hitting .284 at the start of the ball game with 4 home runs, 22 RBIs. Mets leading 2-1 as they bat here with 2 men out in the top of the 8th inning. The 1-0 pitch. Strike call, 1-1. And it's Gerlitz warming up in the bullpen for San Francisco. He was in yesterday's ball game. Gave up the game-winning base hit as the Mets won it yesterday. 4-3. Ground ball. Is it fair? It's ruled fair by the first base umpire, Dave Colon, and Hernandez is out. So the Mets go in order against Frank Williams, and the score at the end of 7 1/2 innings. The Mets 2, the Giants 1. Now here's a word from the good old guys. Bottom of the 8th, the Mets leading by a score of 2-1. In the America League, it's Detroit 3 and Oakland 2, a final score there. Later on, California against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, Seattle against Baltimore, Minnesota against Boston, and Kansas City against Chicago. All later games. And as we go to the bottom of the 8th, the Mets leading 2-1. Once again, Steve Zabriskie.
Thanks, Ralph. It's Manny Trio to lead it off against Dwight Gooden. Yet another one-run ball game for New York. Trio 1 for 3, had an infield single his last time up in the 6th inning and was stranded at third base when Gooden got a pop out and 2 strikeouts in the 6th to pitch out of it.
Trio getting booed here. He's made 2 errors at second base. He also failed to score on a ball that was in the dirt and bounced away from Carter when he had an easy chance to score from third.
2 of commission and 1 of omission. And he takes a fastball for strike 1. Gooden has struck out 10 through the first 7 innings. He has allowed 1 run on the home run by Alex Trevino. He has only walked 1. They're a little behind over there. Got 3 K corners going here, but that one is out of commission. Just catches the corner, and it's strike 2. Fastball fouled away, still 0-2. Trio popped out to Wally Backman in foul territory in the 1st, and then he grounded to Hernandez at first base in the 3rd before picking up the infield single in the 6th. The one error that he was charged with, the first one, really should have been a base hit for Howard Johnson, but the second ball he did boot badly. And then, of course, we still don't know why he didn't score on the pitch that got away from Carter. Well, it hasn't been a real good day for Manny. Shattered his bat as he hit a foul ball outside of third, and I mean that bat exploded. A piece of it is about halfway down the third baseline. Well, gets a new one.
We'll make a few toothpicks out of that one.
Tim McCarver says that's like the wood I used to get.
Here it is on the replay. The bat checking off the hitting surface. So Trio has to go for another piece.
And the count still no balls, 2 strikes. Trio leading off here in the 8th inning. 2-1 New York. Curveball bounces back out in front, and it's 1-2. Some of the fans were hollering, "Run,
score!"
to Manny.
Touch home plate.
Go ahead now step on the plate. I tell you, once you get down, they don't let you up easily. Curveball tapped right back to Gooden. 1 away.
Well, join Tony Randall for a look at the best of Broadway and the London stage. It's Curtains Up, Saturday night at 8 here on Channel 9.
Here's Chili Davis, who is 2 for 3. Davis with a single to center and a double to left center in 3 trips. He also struck out against Gooden back in the 1st inning.
Both of his hits have come on low fastballs, one on a 3-2 count. He's hit the ball well.
But when Dwight has kept the ball up, belt high or above, Chili has not been able to get around on it. one.
One thing about Gooden, he just keeps coming at you. I mean, he's not going to back off.
One thing we noticed early last year in his rookie season, he appears to get stronger as the game goes along. Breaking ball right in there. 0-2. Dwight here in the later innings really staying ahead of the hitters.
And this is a good, hard, sharp curveball right here on the inside part of the plate. All breaking right down, and that is the tough curveball to hit. It's that sliding flat curveball you can really do something with.
Another breaking ball gets him. Strikeout number 11 for Dwight Gooden. And 2 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. And keep those K's coming, guys. They obviously came prepared.
They better get another order. Another good hard curveball. And that down action is the tough action.
Gooden has 2 curveballs basically. That big jug and then that tightly wrapped pitch. That's outside ball 1 to Gary Racich. The Cowboy, as he's called, is 1 for 3. He had a single to left in the 4th inning. He struck out and popped to first. And he popped up again. Hernandez going back down the right field line, really fighting the wind and the sun, but he stays with it and makes the catch. Another good play by Keith Hernandez, and it's a 1-2-3 inning here in the 8th for San Francisco. The Mets still lead it 2-1 as we go to the 9th. Right after this word from Nissan.
The blind skater overcome her handicap in the inspiring drama Ice Castles tonight at 9 on the $1 Million Movie.
9th inning baseball at Candlestick Park, and the Mets are leading 2-1. Gary Carter will lead it off against Frank Williams, who's pitching in relief of starter Jim Gott. It'll be Carter, Foster, and then Danny Heath here in the 9th inning for the Mets, looking for a little insurance. Carter 1 for 3, had an RBI single, driving in what is right now the winning run in the 6th inning. He's also grounded to third on a fine play by Chris Brown and grounded into a double play. Williams with that sidearm delivery for strike 1.
Last year on August 24th, as you look at Gary Carter, Williams was the winning pitcher in both games of a doubleheader against the Mets.
That caught the corner, and it's 2 strikes.
He was the first San Francisco Giant pitcher to accomplish this. Pretty good feat right there, winning 2 games.
And you know, with the emergence though of relief pitching in the last 10 or 15 years of baseball, I think that'll begin to happen more often, except that now there aren't too many doubleheaders. Strike 3. Williams picks up his 2nd strikeout, and Carter becomes out number 1 here in the 9th. And here's George Foster. Foster with the other Mets run, a home run deep to left field back in the 5th inning, his 7th of the year. He also has doubled and flied to center. So George is 2 for 3 with an RBI and a run scored. Foster 3rd on the club with 18 RBIs. Carter and Hernandez each have 22. And that's a ball inside.
And the Mets are playing in their 42nd game here.
Ground ball to short. Uribe. And 2 away.
Uribe doing a fine job at shortstop. If you remember Johnny LeMaster, the shortstop here for several years, he was much maligned. As we look at the ground ball again, he looks good at short. LeMaster is now with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Traded yet again from Cleveland. He didn't like it in Cleveland.
Didn't like it here, didn't like it in Cleveland. It's not going to be easy in Pittsburgh.
Here's Danny Heath. Danny 0 for 3 is grounded to first, lined to left, and popped to third. Ball 1.
Pittsburgh in last place with only 15 wins. They have won the fewest games in the National League.
Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Danny hitting at a .302 pace over the last 18 games coming into today. He's He's really done a good job overall filling in right field along with John Christensen on occasion for the injured Darryl Strawberry. Two balls and a strike. And that's out of play again. So 2-2.
Looking ahead, the Giants in the bottom of the ninth will have Jeff Leonard, Chris Brown, and Alex Trevino as their scheduled batters.
5, 6, and 7 in the batting order. 2 out here in the top of the ninth and nobody on. And a 2-2 count to Danny Heath. 3-2. Williams, with his delivery and motion, a lot tougher on right-handed hitters than he is on left-handers. He's got that swing out toward third. Sidearm delivery. And Danny Heath walks. First walk issued by Williams, only the second walk issued by the Giants. And Heap will be at first with 2 out for Howard Johnson, who is 0 for 3. Robbed of a base hit in the 5th on an official scorer's ruling, giving Manny Trillo an error. And he was also retired back in the 2nd on a nice play by Gary Racich at first base.
Now he's hit the ball hard twice and has come up empty.
Ball 1. Pojo also with another nice play at third, Ralph, when he went back on that pop-up directly over his head, playing in. He's done a great job defensively for New York. Ball 2.
Really having trouble getting on track at the plate. Batting 146 coming into this game.
Now he's down to 141 after his 0 for 3 so far. And now 3-0. So Frank Williams, who after striking out 2 of the first 4 batters he faced and retiring 5 in a row, Scott Geraltz is ready should the call come. Has walked Danny Heap and has now gone 3-0 on Johnson, and he walks Johnson on 4 pitches. So the Mets with runners at first and second with 2 out. Jim Davenport will come out of the dugout, and apparently he's going to make the change and go to Scott Geraltz with Rafael Santana scheduled to be the next hitter.
In yesterday's ball game, he didn't bring Scott Geraltz into the game to pitch to Gary Carter. He left the left-hander Mark Davis in, and Carter doubled in 2 runs to tie the ball game. Then he went to Geraltz, and Geraltz gave up a base hit to George Foster, and that was the winning run in the ball game. So now the change is being made with runners at first and second.
And a double change is going to be made. Scott Thompson is coming in for Gary Racich at first base.
Number 50.
Scott Geraltz will come in to replace Williams.
Now playing first base at batting ninth.
And since Racich made the last out, Geraltz will bat in the number 4 position in the batting order. And Thompson will bat in the number 9 spot.
This is Geralt's 23rd appearance. He has a record of 2 wins, 3 losses, and 4 saves. Worked 1 full inning yesterday. Gave up 1 hit, but it was a big one. Walking 2, striking out none.
Frank Williams goes an inning and 2/3. Does not allow a run as yet, nor a hit. Struck out 2 and walked 2, and is responsible for the runners at first and second. So Geralt's the 3rd San Francisco pitcher of the afternoon, with 2 out here in the top of the 9th inning. Well, Now we invite you to see light heavyweight champ Michael Spinks take on Diamond Jim McDonald in just one of the 3 bouts featuring the nation's top boxers. Don King presents D-Day Dynamite, the biggest fight night of the year. That'll be coming up Thursday, which is D-Day, the anniversary thereof, June 6th. That'll be at 8 p.m. right here on Channel 9. 2 out here in the top of the 9th and a 2-1 New York lead. The Mets with runners at first and second on 2 successive 2-out walks by Frank Williams. George Foster with a home run in the 5th inning to give the Mets their first run, and Gary Carter drove in a run, scoring Mookie Wilson in the 6th inning with a 2-out base hit to center. The Giants' only run came in the 7th on a leadoff home run by Alex Trevino. And here is Rafael Santana, who doubled his last time up off the wall down the left field line. He is 1 for 3. And he takes a fastball low for ball 1. Ball 2. So after Frank Williams walked 2 with 2 out, Scott Garrels has trouble finding the strike zone. It's 2-0 to Santana. Garrels with a fine 1.74 ERA. Santana hits it well to left, but Leonard has plenty of room and drifts over to make the catch, and the inning is over. The Mets get a pair of walks but lead 2 here in the 9th. And Dwight Gooden will take his 1-run lead into the bottom of the 9th inning with the Mets leading San Francisco 2-1. Now here's a word from Michelob Light. Back here at Candlestick for the bottom of the 9th inning. The Mets leading 2-1. And to briefly recap what both teams have done in 1-run ball games, the Mets, of course, have won more than any other team in the league. They are 14-6 in 1-run decisions, while San Francisco has lost more than any other National League club. They are 6-15 in 1-run games. The Mets, of course, won a 1-run ball game yesterday with a 4-3 come-from-behind decision in the first of this 2-game series. And it'll be Jeff Leonard to lead it off against Dwight Gooden in a 2-1 ball game here in the bottom of the 9th. Leonard is 0 for 3. He has struck out twice his last 2 times up against Dwight. Gooden has struck out 11 through the first 8 innings today, and obviously has regained the lead with now 86 strikeouts to lead Nolan Ryan by 10. High, ball 1. Leonard to be followed by Chris Brown and Alex Trevino. 1-1. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Dwight has allowed 6 hits and has pitched out of trouble on 2 occasions. Back in the 6th inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd, he struck out the last 2 hitters, one of which was Leonard. Just missed up and away. 2-2. Leonard with 2 home runs and 15 RBIs. I don't know what they're doing, but they've got some papers spread out. It's a wonder those papers aren't blowing all over the place. Leonard fouls it back, and it's still 2-2. The only blemish on Gooden's record, the home run by Alex Trevino, who hit a line shot just over the left field wall leading off the 7th inning. And Dwight has only walked 1 batter today. That'll be out of play, and it's still 2-2. 2 runs on 5 hits, no errors for the Mets. 1 run on 6 hits and 2 errors for the Giants. Strikeout number 12. An even dozen for the doctor and 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. Leonard has now struck out the last 3 times up. And as usual with Dwight, nothing fancy. See you later. Right down Broadway, but too strong to catch up with. This is the 5th K corner we've seen, but this is the most unusual. Chris Brown is 0 for 3. He's popped out to second, fly deep to right, and struck out. Strike 1. Breaking ball, 1-1. The Mets have Jesse Orozco throwing in the bullpen just in case. Fastball fouled back, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Since giving up the home run to Trevino to start off the 7th inning, Gooden has retired 7 in a row, and 3 of the last 5 by strikeouts. And he gets number 13. A baker's dozen for Dwight, who has struck out the first 2 here in the 9th inning. And here he gets Brown to chase a pitch out of the strike zone. That breaking ball breaks down so sharply that Dwight's curveball almost gives the illusion of a strike, and I wonder if they've run out of K's yet. 13 strikeouts in 8 2/3 for the Doctor, who now has 89 on the year. And a strike called. Trevino 1 for 3 with that home run his last time up. Was also a strikeout victim back in the 4th inning. Jose Uribe, the only Giant Gooden has not struck out. Strike 2. So the Doctor can finish with a big flourish here with a 2-strike count on Trevino, and having already struck out the first 2 batters here in the bottom of the 9th, looking to strike out the side. He does it. Dwight Gooden strikes out 14 San Francisco Giants and picks up his 7th win of the year. A 2-1 New York victory as they sweep this brief 2-game series in San Francisco with a pair of 1-run victories. Gooden is now 7 and 3 on the year, and now has 90 strikeouts to lead Nolan Ryan. Actually, he has 89, I should say, to lead Nolan Ryan by 13 in the National League strikeout race. Jim Gott is the losing pitcher and is now 2 and 2 on the year. We'll be back with a wrap-up here from Candlestick, and Tim McCarver will have a special interview, so stay with us. The New York Mets have won their first 2 games on this road trip. Here, a 2-1 victory and 14 strikeouts for Dwight Gooden. We're back at Candlestick. The final once again, the Mets 2 and the Giants 1.